It's Valentine's Day, and remember, every kiss begins with a hand-carved sign. So guys, Valentine's Day is expensive. It's always expensive. The greeting cards raise their prices to like 10 bucks for a piece of cardboard. Flowers are $100 for 6 roses. It's ridiculous. And all that stuff is either gonna die or get thrown away, or if it's chocolate, it's gonna get eaten. I always make my wife a sign for Valentine's Day, and every year she loves it. So that's what we're gonna do. Today we're going to make a sign for Amy for Valentine's Day with our brand new template of the month, and this is an adorable little puppy. This one is tough to carve, so if you haven't carved before, this is a good one to practice on, but it is pretty challenging. And guys, if you don't know, we have memberships, premium and executive memberships, and with that you get free router bit sharpening if you get the bits from us, and you get free templates and stencils. I'll leave a link in the description below for this, for the memberships, and everything else we use today. All right, let's get started. For this sign, I'm using a piece of blue pine. Now, this is the shiplap kind, and this is actually about 6 inches wide. So it's roughly 6 by 23, I think, something like that. So I decided to do 3 lines of copy on this. Now, when you do 3 lines, first thing you want to do is you want to figure out your equal spacing. So that little adjustable speed square that I used, I do it from the bottom of the board to the bottom of the bottom line, and the top of the board to the top of the top line. And then once I get those marks in there, I just even up the middle line. So it's really not that hard. The more lines you do, generally the more difficult it is, but with 3 lines, it's really not that hard. Once I get my marks for all my lines and I use the little speed square, it makes it really easy. Then I connect those marks with a yardstick. That gives me exactly where my lines are gonna lay out. So to get my spacing for my lines of wording, I put the templates on there. So that'll give me a good idea of how much room I have to play with. Now the bottom line is going to be the longest line of copy. So I want to do that one first. And then I even everything up on that particular line. So the bottom line will be the longest, the top line will be second longest, and the middle line will be the shortest. And again, this is just kind of how I like to do it, but it's really kind of up to you however you want to do it. One concern I had is the L in love is right on a knot. I tried to get my spacing to where that was in between the letters, but it just didn't look right, so I figured I'll take a chance, see how it carves, and luckily it turned out okay, but that's not always the case. So try to avoid those big knots if you can. The first bit I used is the carving liner at 1/8 of an inch deep. Now, I always kind of preach to only use the carving liner if you absolutely have to. And this particular stencil is really difficult to carve, especially in the whisker area. So I ended up doing the whole thing with the carving liner. Dad probably could have gotten away with using the profile for like the outside of it, but for me, because there's so many fine little sharp points where the hair is on the top of the head, the little eyes and everything, I just carved this whole thing at 1/8 of an inch with the carving liner. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind with doing this is that the carving liner will dull a little bit faster than all of the other bits because it's a single flute and it's really fine tipped. But that was definitely the way to go, I think, for this one. I don't think I could have gotten all of the little fine detail without the carving liner. One thing you want to keep in mind, if you look at the whiskers right there, there's actually black parts. I'm carving all of the black out of there. So if instead of trying to take it as a whole and just thinking of carving the whiskers, just take it one piece of it at a time and just carve the black area. That really kind of helps not to get lost in the entire thing. So just think of carving each little black area. Don't worry about the picture as a whole, and that helps. But again, this one is pretty difficult, but if you get it done right, it really turns out nice. My wife actually ended up loving this. Also, I did the nose as a heart, but you don't have to do that. That's just something I thought she would like. Real quick guys, we don't have any sponsors. Everything we do, our entire business is based around selling supplies for hand carving signs. So make sure to go check out makeawoodsign.com if this is something you're into, and if you made it this far in the video, it probably is. The next bit I used is the profile bit at 3/16 of an inch deep. And I use this for both of the templates. The first thing I did is I went around the outside of the little puppy dog template. One thing to keep in mind is when you have a sign and you have a template, it's good to have a nice bold line around it. It really makes it pop a little bit more, and it gives it some contrast between the carving and the rest of the board. And I'm going to go around it again with a bigger bit. But if I wouldn't have done this with a profile bit first, then I probably would have hit a lot of those little tiny points. So it's just about kind of giving yourself a little bit more room to go back and give that thing a nice thick line. Now the double heart template, that one I could have used the 60 degree, but I already had the profile in, and there are some areas where the line gets a little bit thinner. So I think it was easier to do it with a profile bit. If you have something with thicker lines like the top of the hearts right there, go around the outside edge first and then come back around and do the inside edge. And then there are a couple areas where I had to kind of go back and take some wood out, but it really is pretty simple to do with a profile bit. Now for the lettering, I'm using the 60 degree bit right at around 3/16 of an inch deep. I did the L on that knot first because I wasn't 100% sure it was going to work out. I was kind of afraid that knot was going to fall out, and then that would have ruined the whole sign. In fact, I should have done that before I did anything else, just because if that would have happened, then I would have had to start all over again, and all that work would have been for nothing. For the lettering, I'm using our 1-inch fatty font. And I'm doing this for a couple reasons. Number one, it's my favorite to use because it's so much easier to carve. I like the look of the Clarendon font, but man, that can be really difficult to carve the 1-inch inset. Number two, it's my wife's favorite. That's what I use to carve pretty much all of the signs that I make her. Now, if you're a beginner, this kind of mixes one of our hardest templates, which is the puppy dog, and our easiest fonts. But the fatty font really does look good, and it kind of goes with the theme of this sign. If your 60 degree bit has been sharpened a few times, the depth is going to change a little bit. What you want to make sure is that you get a nice wide cut, but that you don't sink the bit into the board enough to where there's some burring and burning. So the depth might change depending on your bit and how many times it's been sharpened. For the edge, I'm doing a really deep scallop. Now, normally when I do a scallop, I don't do it deep enough. Or at least that's what Dad says. But, it's Dad. So I'm using our 45 degree chamfer bit, and when you're doing a deep scallop like this, if you haven't done it before, or if you only done it a couple times, maybe do a little bit of a line. So maybe just kind of draw where you want your scallops to be instead of just eyeballing it like I'm doing it here. It really won't make a difference. I don't think most people won't notice if it's off a little bit, but it can be kind of difficult to get the spacing right in between the scallops. You can see a spot right there where some scallops are a little farther than the others. It's not a big deal, but if you're analytic and you're kind of anal about that kind of stuff, it will show up. And then if you're doing a scallop, make sure that you sand off the corners just to take that sharp edge off. Now before I spray, I'm going to brush the crap out of this thing to make sure I get all of the sawdust and the loose pieces out from the carving. That way I don't have any issues when I spray and sand it. When you're spraying something with a lot of thin lines like this puppy template, you want to be careful not to spray too much, but still spray enough to where you get all of the black down in those lines. So that itself can take a little bit of practice. But once I got the spray done and it dried, which took a little while because it's freezing cold out here, then I sanded it off with an 80 grit on the disc sander and a 120 on the random orbital, and I really like how this thing came out. It just turned out nicer than I thought it would, especially with a little nose being a heart. That was something extra I added for my wife. Now this is something we kind of get some crap for every once in a while. using a Sharpie for the color on our signs. But this is going to be inside. It's not going to be an exterior sign. So as long as you put a good clear coat on it, it's not going to wear out and it's not going to dull over time. If it's outside, then it definitely will. So there it is, you guys. So I think my wife is gonna love this. Anything having to do with dogs, she absolutely loves. So remember, it's Valentine's Day. You can spend $300 on roses, $5,000 on a ring, or you can make her something, or him, whatever. It's something handmade from the heart, and you can customize it to what they're into. So guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to go check out the website, makeawoodsign.com. We have all the stuff we used today and a lot more. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.